Here's a quick cut preview of an upcoming episode of the Work It, Live It, Own It podcast. How do you recommend entrepreneurs navigate that equilibrium between pursuing business goals, maintaining their overall well-being, but especially in a fast-paced and demanding world? Some people say, well, that's easier said than done, but I got to get up, I got to take care of the kids, I got to look after my family, or if you don't have kids, I got to dash off to work, because some entrepreneurs are still working full-time jobs while they're pursuing their business goals. When am I going to have this time? You said walk in the morning. That's great. And we may all have these ideas in our head to do that. How do you help your clients go from, yeah, that's a nice idea, to actually implementing that in their lives?
Oh my gosh, I love this so much. It is perfectly natural for us to have this desire to go from being on the couch to scaling Everest by Friday. We totally want to just have those kinds of results. We want to change everything immediately. Yes. And that is just setting us up for colossal frustration and failure. So what I have started people with is pick one of the M's that calls to you the most. Which one seems like it would bring your energy up the most? Fill you with peace and calm and a sense of ease. And start with one. And start with 5 minutes. Even if you're just going to do movement and you walk around your block and you do that for a month and you don't do anything else except for that. What we have to do is start to prune old neural connections in our brain and start to rewire new connections for a new behavior and a new habit and a new practice. And so the power of accumulation works in our favor, even if it's 5 minutes, because we're showing up, we're doing the thing, we're wiring and firing. Simultaneously, what happens is the old thing that we used to do, maybe that 5 minutes we used to sit there and squint at our phone and scroll through Facebook or whatever, we're not doing that anymore because we have our sneakers on and we're out the door. And that's pruning that old behavior away. So if we can start with some realistic expectations, if we can be supremely kind and compassionate toward ourselves, and say, you know what? There are lots of things that I want to do. I can start with this one small thing and I can let that be the building block. When I first started, I wasn't doing all 5 M's. You know, I was just looking for oxygen, right? I was just barely able to function. So it wasn't like I was, woohoo, I'm going to go do this and, you know, and spend 5 hours on my morning practice. There's just no way. If we start small and we build, the other thing that I think is very important to mention, when we do these small practices, we will start to experience time very differently. The survival scarcity brain will always say, there's not enough time, there's not enough time, there's not enough time. And it's our job to go, well, let's just see about that. Because that 5-minute walk is going to change your experience of how time functions for you. Even in just that brief walk, time is like an accordion in a lot of ways in terms of how I experience it. When I believe the lie, there's not enough time, and I skip certain things, then my experience of time equally constricts. When I disbelieve what my brain is barking at me and I'm like, I'm going out into the woods anyway, or I'm going to sit here with my journal and have a cup of coffee, my experience expands. Time expands. So what's happening is our energy, our level of energy and focus, in part, driving how we experience time. So if we focus more on managing energy and less on productivity hacks and time management and all those things, how much can I cram in? Let's get clear about what we need to get rid of, and we'll cling to those to-do lists, because this was me, and we'll say, I can't get rid of anything on this list. Well, yes, we can. So I encourage people, look at your to-dos. And let's get off some boards. Let's stop doing the things that are draining our energy. Let's change some health habits. Let's get some more sleep. Let's not say yes to doing the committee work on Saturday mornings anymore. Whatever it is that we can reclaim back to ourselves, we reclaim that energy, but we also, our soul is just in there going, yes, you go, girl. And that fills us with a whole new sense of willingness and possibility, which helps us with these 5 M's, right? Because we're back in the saddle of our true selves and we're back in command rather than being on demand according to what everybody else wants.
Love it. And you touched on the fact that our brains are going to lead us down a path of like, no, really, you shouldn't do that. I think in one of Dale Carnegie's books, I'm just now embarking on reading some of his books. And one point in one of his books said, when you're dealing with other people in a disagreement, your first thought or your first reaction that you think about, disbelieve that, because that's just an emotional reaction. So it's the same way with what Susie was just talking about, what you were talking about, and how we got to go, you silly little brain. No, let's focus on this. And then your body, your soul actually thanks you. Like this morning, I could have said, I could continue to scroll on social media, which is a huge time suck, a huge time warp. And I have to say, a lot of the clients that I have, never, I mean, I have people reach out to me, but my clients don't come from social media. They come by word of mouth. And so that means that my time spent on social media, I don't need to focus on, because I look at the pattern, the track work, and say, where do I get the most benefit? And it's by actually having genuine conversations with people.
Yes.
Showing up in a room or just interacting with them. And then someone says, oh, she's a realtor, right? Oh, I didn't know that. And a lot of times we don't have to go out and like, hey, here's my card. Although you can do that. But touching and getting to know 5 people every single day, whether it's through a post or something that really resonated with you and you just want to share it, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. It's okay.